Good morning, everybody. Oh no. Oh my gosh, I almost deleted us. Holy, what is the matter with me? Good morning, everybody. First, I want to say, Karen, I seriously hope you do get rid of some of that snow. I'm so sorry, hon. Oh my God, she's been dumped on with snow.
Oh no.
It's terrible. But welcome, Bailey from Simply Made by Hand. I have recently discovered Bailey and I'm hooked. I can't stop watching your videos. I absolutely love when you're sitting outside and the goats are behind you or the geese are behind you. And
Yeah, yeah.
I absolutely love it. So, welcome here today. And I see your sister is here. So,
Yes.
large family homestead. Now, what is her actual first name?
Brooke.
Good morning, Brooke. Welcome to you. Good morning, Margaret and Frizzy B. How are you? Good morning, everybody. So, as you can see, oh, I must tell Margaret, I am taking my medication, Margaret. She's my Jiminy Cricket. She sits
Yeah.
here, tells me. So, good morning, everybody. I just want to wait until we get a few more people on here, and then I'm going to have you tell us all things Bailey.
Cool.
I can't wait to hear more about you. I love the fact, and I don't know how to say this delicately. I love the fact that you're young. I absolutely because the stigma with us is that only old ladies crochet, and that's exactly. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it because that's what my neighbors when I come out in a new shawl or something, they're like, "I didn't know you were 100." Well, I'm not. I'm just that cool. I'm just cool enough to crochet. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So, good morning, Sassy Mary and Michelle and Elizabeth and Melissa. Monique, are you on there? I don't think I saw Monique. And Beth, Beth? Oh, Beth. Oh, Beth. Elizabeth, should I call you Beth instead? I probably won't remember, so don't tell me. I won't remember.
Yeah, it's definitely looked at as like even like when I go on like live streams on my channel, they're like, "Hi, old lady." I'm like, it's not.
Exactly.
We're just old ladies. It's for
Yeah.
everyone.
And you know what? I have known, like, my brother in law is a 6.5 foot tall trucker. You can't get your arms around him. He's just this, and he crochets in his truck when he's waiting for a delivery. So you just never know,
There you
you
go.
know.
Yeah.
Just so they should. Oh, Monique's getting a root canal. Holy moly! Well, I send her my love. Eesh. So you just never know who's crocheting, and I think everybody should. There would be more peace in the world.
There you go. Right?
Well, it depends on what they're making, I guess.
Right.
But
Wait till there's a fight over yarn.
uh, if Russ is in here, we know why they run out of yarn. Russ steals it. So, all right, we could start with hello, Bailey. Tell us a little bit about you. I know you're from Texas and you live on a farm, but other than that, I got nothing. So,
I am the second oldest of 10 siblings.
woo.
We got quite a group over here.
I thought my family was big. You win.
Yay! Yeah, we got quite a large group over here. And I don't know, there's not really like I wish there was more to share, but like I don't know.
So, all right. So I'll dig a little bit.
Okay.
So other than YouTube, do you have like a career path or do you have a different like day job that takes you away from crocheting?
No, I live at home, so I'm trying to make crochet my full-time business.
I'm
So
jealous.
I think it's been like I started this like almost a year ago, so I'm trying to like build it up, my Etsy and everything like that.
That is awesome. See, I wish I could turn back time and be you because that is my whole life. People are like, you should do this. You should just do, not obviously YouTube because it didn't exist back then,
Right.
just didn't exist. But back, they're all like, your craft should be your life and this and that. Do you do any other crafts, any other, or is it just you're focused on the hooks?
I do crochet, some knitting, and I was a painter before I found crochet and was selling my paintings. But then I discovered that I enjoyed crochet a little bit more because I don't need to get like this huge setup to crochet, unlike
Right.
painting.
You can literally put yarn in your pocket and a hook and
Right.
off you go. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so much
Which I
easier.
try to do. Yep.
Yeah.
Be prepared at all times. That is awesome. So you said about a year, right?
Yes.
So what
Yes,
prompted you? What
I'm
prompted
sorry,
you
what?
to, what prompted you to hit that button?
Uh, I don't know, actually. My friend came over one time with yarn and a crochet hook. I'm like, hey, what's that? Like, my mother used to knit. So I had her old knitting needles and stuff. I'm like, hey, is this the same thing as what you're doing? She's like, no. I'm like, hey, can you teach me that? And it just pretty much started from there. I mean,
Cool. And then your channel, what made you decide? Obviously, it's a lot different for you because you grew up with this. This is like my daughter says it all the time. We grew up with social media. We
right.
know it, we live it. With us, it's different because we are like, oh, do we really want to put ourselves out there? You guys, it's just second nature. So, what made you start your channel?
Well, my sister started her channel like I think like 4 months before mine did. So I seen hers really like take off right away. I'm like, hey, I wonder if there would be a community interested in what I have to offer. So she helped me set everything up that I have because I am honestly horrible with technology. It does not like me.
Welcome to
And
my world.
yeah, she helped me set everything up from the banners to helping me put on my first video. So
That's awesome. So, you two are pretty close, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't that fun? That's it's I had I had four sisters. I have two now. Um and the closeness that you feel, I have a brother and I love him very much, but the closeness you have with your sister is kind of cool. It's kind of like sometimes it's creepy because you're thinking the same thing and it's weird. So but yeah, so you're in Texas and all of Karen's family is in Texas.
Oh yeah, we're located in East Texas.
That's cool. I noticed no accent.
Yeah, we grew up in Pennsylvania.
Ah, so how old were you when you moved to Texas?
Um, we sort of traveled around a little bit. Um, so I think I was like 13 when we finally moved to Texas. So
That's cool. So by
I
then
do
the
not.
language is pretty ingrained in you. So
Yeah, I don't have a Texan or accent or anything.
do you have a cowboy hat?
Nope, no cowboy hat.
So what kind of farm? Like I know you said you live on the farm. What kind of farm is it? Like dairy or what do you have on there?
It's more like we don't actually like sell anything from our farm, so it's all like we use it all because we use it all. We don't have anything to sell. So it's basically we just own two dairy cows. One isn't in milk yet, so we have one that gives us milk, and then we have two meat cows. So that pretty much just gets us our beef and everything like that. And then my sister does meat birds, so we have chickens
Yeah,
and
awesome.
ducks, just so we can like stop buying so much from the store
Sure.
because
Sure.
prices.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything else, not just
Yeah,
prices, but at least when you're raising your own animals, you know what's going in there.
yeah,
When I
you
had chickens, I knew what was in those eggs. I
right.
knew what, you know what I mean? And you just never know. So it's actually nowadays, it's almost like self-defense, you want to
Yeah.
know what's going into your food. So how young, what's the age difference in your siblings?
So my sister is 2 years older than me. And then hold on, I'm trying to think of ages.
I know.
Um
Thank you,
I think
Margaret.
I think my brother is 4 or 3 years
Wow.
younger than me. And then 1.5 years, the next one, I don't remember.
So how
There's
young is the youngest?
two. She's about to be two.
Wow. 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 Hey, here's for your parents. That is amazing. And in today's world, you really don't see the bigger families.
Yeah.
My niece has five children and she's running ragged, but it's nice to see that there's still, the family unit. There's still, and you guys all pitch in and help with the farm and you kind of hunker down and stay close. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's what I grew up with. Um, we had my parents and seven of us, you know, and back then that felt huge. we did the haying. Pretty much we consumed everything like you do. We consumed what
Yeah.
we grew. So, and I think that is where a lot of my creativity came. If you wanted it, you made it. If you needed it, you grew it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
do you get a lot of that with like, hey, I need a sweater or a hat? You're going to make one. Do you
I
do
do
that
get
now?
a lot of opportunities to, hey, I can make my own
That's
stuff.
awesome. That's awesome. That's really cool. Oh, 1 second. Good morning, Len. And good morning, Missy. I saw you sneak in there. Good morning. So, welcome everybody. Thank you all. Don't forget the thummies, please, if my mouth would work. In my defense, I did burn my tongue on my coffee this
Oh
morning.
no.
Isn't that wonderful? Good times. Good times.
You're like just rush into your coffee. Ah.
And it's the worst because you're like, oh, the first sip, and then you're like, ah, I just ruined the whole day.
Right.
So, you know that I don't know if you know, but I've been in the cafeteria now at an elementary school. I was a sub lunch lady, and now I'm the cool lunch lady. So I wanted to share. I wanted to share a little bit just because I like to share the stories. So yesterday, I had my first instance. Now, growing up in a big family, I don't know if you have nieces and nephews yet, but you will. So all of the younger children, we'll put it that way, they know you have a limit, right?
Yes.
I could be the coolest aunt in the world, but don't. You know, just so yesterday there's this little boy, and I give myself so much credit because they almost saw the Aunt Kim come out. So this little boy's sitting at his table and he's pouring his chocolate milk onto his roll.
Hmm.
So I walk over and I'm like, no, don't do that. And he looks at me and goes, I was like, okay. I took a deep breath. I said, honey, I'm not playing. I said, if you do that again, I'm sending you to the office. Do you know what he said to me?
What do you say?
He goes, don't talk to me like you're a hood. You're not a hood. I was like,
No.
oh my God. Bailey, I was like, I need to walk away for a minute. I gotta just walk away for a minute.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't believe it. I just walked away. I'm like, no, no, that didn't just happen. But these
Wow.
kids, it's so funny. You just never know. But you know what? Find a career like you're doing. Find a career you love. Obviously, this is my, I know, right? Don't talk to me like you're in the hood. I don't even know what it means. Exactly. Exactly. I don't know what it means. But find a career like you're doing that you love. I found a career that I had to do for 20 years, right? And then I retired and now I found something I love to do and it's so fun. So that's pretty good advice for everybody is find it now. So I'm so happy that you're doing that now. And your sister's doing the same thing. She's pretty much making that her career.
Yeah, she's trying to make the homesteading channel and her meat birds and everything her business too. Yeah.
So, Margaret, if you could please find, is it Large Family Homestead is the channel?
Yes. Yeah.
Margaret, could you please drop a link to Large Family Homestead as well? I got to check that out
Yeah,
because I
it's
need
pretty
another
cool.
channel to obsess on. I just need another one. So, oh, she already did. Of course she did because she's Margaret. Thank you, Jiminy Margaret. So, good morning, sugar. You probably don't know that song, do you?
I feel like I've heard it somewhere, but I don't know. I don't
It's
listen
the
to a
artist.
lot of music with I like classical music, honestly.
Okay. Okay, well, good. I made sure when you're probably a little younger than my daughter, but near my daughter's age. I made sure she was well versed in all music. So if something comes on from the 60s, she knows it. If something comes on that's big band music, like, she knows it. So it's pretty cool. Good morning, Amber. Good morning, everybody. So, so what are your goals for your channel? What are you looking to accomplish and do?
Um, well, first is to grow a community of crocheters of all ages and things like that. I really want everyone to know that crocheting is for everybody. Like, I want my channel to be inviting for everyone. And next is to probably reach monetization and to try to see something back from this. Because a lot of people probably don't understand, when you start a channel, you're not making anything for like a long
A long
time.
time. And then when you are making something, it's
Tiny, tiny little bit, right?
so
Yeah.
everybody right now, take a second, hop on over and throw some yarn at Bailey, please. Bailey, remember to duck. You don't want to get hit in the head with that. So, yeah, monetization, and it's fun to get there.
Yeah.
It's fun to hit those milestones. Excuse me, sorry. But a lot of people do not realize you don't just click on the channel and you're making money.
Right.
And even when you hit them, you're still not. Because remember, there's things you're doing giveaways, you're buying yarn, you're making content. You got to buy the cameras and the lights and the this and that. So there's a lot going into your career.
Yeah.
And hopefully someday you'll be the big channel that we all go and watch, because I love, can I say that the fresh perspective that you're putting on it. In my crochet club, I have a few 10 and 12-year-olds, and I love to see that they're excited about it. So
Yeah.
A lot of us older crocheters, should I say seasoned, a lot
There
of us
you go.
seasoned crocheters, we are trying to pass it down and show other people. Do you find that some of your friends or any other of your friends or siblings are interested?
Yeah, especially my younger sister. She's just turned 10 and she absolutely loves knitting. I'm trying to get her to jump over to crochet too. And she's like, no, no, I like knitting. I'm like, really?
That's cool. I can't knit to save my life. I can do it with my Addy, but I can't do it with anything else. Have you tried an Addy?
No, no, never tried a knitting machine.
They're fickle, but they're cool. Sorry, I got a hair sticking out. It's driving me. Got it. Okay. Uh, they're pretty neat. But then sometimes you get something like this.
Yeah.
That's your machine saying, I don't like that yarn, so don't do it.
Yeah, I watch videos and people are like, the yarn on those, you got to choose the perfect
Mhm.
yarn for it or stitches are going to drop.
Exactly. And you can't even say like, I'm buying another Addy, so I'm going to use the same yarn, because I've realized that it differs from machine to machine.
Hmm.
So, do you have any other gadgets? Do you have a winder or one of those Swifts? I call it the umbrella thing. I don't know what it's, it's.
Yeah, I
Do
think it's
you,
called a Swift
yeah,
actually.
I think so too. Do you have any of those, or do you expect to expand into those kind of items?
I right now only have a winder. I don't use like the yarn hank, so I don't see the need for like a Swift or anything. I think it's called a Swift. We're just gonna go with.
We're going to call it a Swift. Margaret will correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, right now I don't feel the need to like put more expenses into it just
Right,
quite yet until
right.
I see something back, because I can't just keep giving and giving and giving to it.
Exactly. And that's a good lesson also to share with anyone. It is a Swift. Okay, thank you, Margaret. It's a good advice to share with someone who's thinking of starting their channel. Don't run out and spend $1 billion thinking you're going to get it back in a year. Start with the basics. Grab a hook and a thing of yarn and see what you can do with it. Study other channels. Are there any other channels that you, obviously, other than mine? I'm kidding. Are there any other channels that you look to as far as guidance or help or any of that?
I personally watch a lot of small channels because I've seen a lot of smaller channels are growing super fast. So I like to gravitate towards the ones that are like, they must be doing something, right?
Yeah.
So I started my crochet journey by watching, what's the channel name? Crochet with Tiffany or something.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember if that's the exact channel name. And then I do watch, like I said, a lot of small channels. So I watch
Yeah.
Frizzy Bee, and then there's this one, I think it's Arts and Anthropods. Sorry.
That's
arts
okay.
and anthropods, and then a couple others, but I don't remember all the names.
And that is why I started this, because that's what I'm trying to do is bring the attention to Frizzy says, yay me. I'm trying to share audiences with the smaller channels. 99% of us know Bag a Day. 99% of us know Juan the Yarn Addict, and they're wonderful, awesome. I love Juan. And Bag a Day taught me everything I know. But those of us that are learning from them, we also are now, we need the boost. So that's why I started this. I'm reaching out to the smaller channels to share audiences and to share stuff across audiences. Um, because I have what 1,452 as of this morning. So if I could share a handful of them with you, you know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
gets you to your goals faster. And plus, like I said, those of you that haven't, oh, I didn't say it when we were live. I said it to you before they came on. I was checking out the playlists that Bailey has, and Bailey's tutorials, I love them. It's not something you have to sit down and invest a week in. You're going to learn something, you're going to learn it the right way, and you have a cute project within what? Under an hour from what I've seen on all
Yes.
of them. So, good morning, Nana. Welcome. So I love that. I just love that idea because, we can do the crochet alongs and all of that stuff, but there's a lot of times in my life I don't have a week to invest in something. Like
Yeah.
right now, I've got 3 things on my hooks. I've got these wiggly worm things going on. I've got the cowl neck for my brother-in-law, and I've got a blanket that I just started actually for myself, believe it or not. So at any given time, I'm working on several other things. So to get myself delved into a big project just isn't it. So your tutorials, I really enjoy them. So also check out her playlist for the tutorials. I'm very bossy this morning, everybody. Just do it. Just go over there and do it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
feel. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like if the tutorials were like long, like today's generation doesn't want to like sit and just watch a 2 hour long tutorial, right?
Yeah.
So to capture that younger audience,
Yes.
fast tutorials I found work better.
You're so smart. I could talk to you all day. I could literally talk to you because that's exactly it. There's times when I will observe a kid watching something with something else going on over here, and so at any given time they're streaming 2 or 3 events at
Yeah.
one time. You know what I mean? So you're right, to catch their attention. Hey, check this out. It's cute, it's cool, it's easy, and now we're done. And that's kind of how you do your tutorials, and I love it. Good morning, Tammy. I'm trying to catch everybody. Oh, exactly. Brooke, everyone wants it short and to the point, and then you have people like me that get the gotta finishes, and I need it done. I start something, okay, I need it done because I got other things to do.
Yeah.
So we're all running in very many different directions. So Miss C just left some yarn in your mailbox. That's awesome. She can't throw it. She placed it.
It's okay. I'll go pick it up.
Miss C is the sweetest. I highly recommend you get to know her. She's a sweet, well, actually everybody on here, but Miss C is, she's a sweetheart. So go check out her mailbox too.
All right.
Again, I'm being bossy. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be bossy. Oh, by the way, you guys, I finally got these in the mail. These are the hooks that hold my Addy on. I only ordered them like a month ago. I finally got those. So Bailey, where do you get most of your yarn, and what kind of yarn do you use most?
So I normally like to check my thrift stores because even if they don't have the yarn, you can take apart like old blankets and stuff that need redone anyways.
I love you. I'm just saying that. Go ahead.
So I usually either buy from the yarn that they have, which the one close to me, I think it's like 10 minutes from me, usually has this huge bin of yarn because no one ever wants it. And then if they don't, I go to their blanket section and they always have blankets to take apart. So my go-to material is probably either an acrylic or cotton, because acrylic is cheaper than most fibers. So it's definitely my go-to.
Right. Do you get so excited when you find the bougie yarn at the thrift store and you're like, I found mohair, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
When you find like the expensive yarn, you're like,
and people are looking at you and you're like, never mind. Just put it in the cart. Just put it in the cart.
No, it's not exciting. Not exciting.
It's fine. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. So you'll actually buy a blanket and frog it out and redo it into something else?
Yeah.
Have you done a video of that yet? Because I'd love to see it.
I don't know. I think I want to say I did take apart granny squares from my thrift store. I think it was how I found free yarn, because they were my free bin at my thrift store.
Nice.
So I took them and was like, even like the colors were a little weird. So I was like, yeah.
Okay. It's free yarn.
Right? Yeah, that's what I said. It's free yarn.
Yeah. Oh, we've got Spring Fiber. Good morning, Spring. How are you? And Tammy, good morning. Oh my goodness, everybody's hanging out with us this morning. How fun is that? So tell us some of the other playlists that you have, because I've been talking just about your tutorials. So what are some of the other ones you have?
Something I've recently started is like the funny, like, or trying to be funny crochet skits, like where someone is crochet and someone's knitting or something like that. So that's another something I've recently started. And then I do think I have some painting time lapse. Awesome. I think.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if it's still.
I'd love to see some of your paintings. That'd be cool. So I'm going to check those out for sure.
Yeah, I think I still have that folder on. I did go through and delete some of the folders that had like nothing in them. So I'm not sure. I think it should still be. And then I do have a couple. I did try releasing a couple like knitting videos, but they were not doing well on YouTube. I don't think people like pick up knitting anymore. I think crochet is like the new thing.
I believe you. I think you are correct. If someone is trying knitting, in my experience, don't correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably am. But in my experience, if someone's picking up a hook or a needle for the first time, they are a crocheter that wants to try knit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm experiencing. That's what I do, or what I did. It was not a very nice experience. It was terrible. But yes, good morning, everybody. I'm just making sure we're not missing any questions to you. Joanne, welcome to your first time here. Grab a cup of coffee and hang on, because here we go. Welcome in, everybody. Oh my goodness. So, could there ever be a chance that you and your sister would do a video together?
I think that is a good possibility. We were just talking about she's trying to make a blanket for her very first time. So I thought, wouldn't this be great to share like your first experience with? But then there's this whole like YouTube is taking down channels with minors on videos. So I'm like, it'll be something worth trying. And then like, if it gets taken down, don't do it again.
Right. I prefer to knit, but I've crocheted much longer. So, okay, Spring. So Spring says she prefers to knit, but you've been crocheting much longer. So there's a good question. I think you might have alluded to it. How long have you been crocheting?
About 4.5 years, I think now. And then I started knitting like a year after that.
Wow. What's your biggest project that you've knitted?
I think the biggest project I've ever knit is a baby blanket, because I was like, okay, I'm going to try a bigger project. And then it like took like a whole year. I'm like, when crochet blankets only take it can take me like 7 days to crochet a whole blanket.
Right. Depending on how big the yarn is, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I want to share with you. Have you tried this yet?
I
This
don't know.
is Burnett baby blanket.
Oh no, I haven't tried that yet.
Literally, I just opened one of these this morning and I'm all the way out to the white. It just goes so quick because it's so big. And oh my goodness, I can't. Um, so I find that some yarns that I touch make me want to create certain things. Like this, I just want to snuggle under this. So I'm making a blanket that'll fit my whole bed. First, I had just a little throw blanket. I'm like, that'll be fine. Then Fritzy, my dog, took it. So I don't have that. So now I need one for myself. Liz says taking apart thrift store finds and turning them into something else would be great to watch. And I agree. Yep. Yep. I'm just making sure we're caught up. And if anybody has any questions for Bailey, just put them up in the chat and one of us will catch it for sure. I'm pretty sure. If not, So, oh, here's a good one. And you do not have to share this with me. How big is your yarn stash?
It's not actually quite that large. I have done the 6-day star blanket now 3 times, and I've never put back in my stash the yarn I took from those, so it's super low right now.
Wow, I'm proud of you. Mine's ridiculous. And I have a box here that I just got. So I know it's terrible. I can't. What is your thought? Be honest. With sugar and spice, sugar and cream, whatever the heck it is, the cotton yarn. What's your thought on cotton yarn?
I've only tried that brand of cotton yarn, I think, once, and it was a little rough to the touch, but I could see how, since it's one of the cheaper cottons, people would enjoy using it. Yeah. I personally didn't like the experience of it, like rubbing on my fingers and stuff like that.
Yeah, it has its purpose, right? If I'm going to throw something I made in the sink and get it wet, I'm going to make it something that's not the expense. I'm not going to spend $30 on a skein to throw it in the sink, right? So it has it. Miss C. Bailey, would you like some yarn?
Yeah.
Who in the crochet world would say no to that? Are you kidding?
Right? That would be ridiculous.
Right? That would be like telling Santa, no, I don't want anything at all for Christmas. Come on. Right? You know you want something. Oh, Miss C, that's fun. And maybe a sun bunny.
You received a drop spindle.
Oh.
I have a drop spindle too. I tried spinning my own yarn.
And how'd it go?
It was like lumpy. Like I was trying to go for like a worsted weight yarn, but it turned out to be like some of it was worsted weight and then some was like really thin. So
it's what is it called? Variegated? No, what's it? Yeah, variegated. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure it was beautiful. Habit of buying yarn and giving it away. Well, you know what, Miss C, that's not a horrible habit to have. Well, for those of us on this end of it anyway. So Melissa would like to know, she's curious, how much time do you spend crocheting per day?
Okay, so I used to spend probably 4 hours sometimes crocheting, but I have since then limited my crocheting time because I injured my wrist pretty bad.
Oh no.
When I was crocheting for 4 hours a day. So I limited to about an hour and a half a day. Sometimes I don't I've been taking a day every week just to take a break from crocheting and say, hey, I'm going to put this down for a whole day. Just because I injured my wrist and I couldn't crochet for 2 weeks. I'm like, I am not doing that ever again.
Wow. Have you ever tried to left hand, or are you left hand?
I started crocheting. I'm not left-handed, but I watched YouTube and it's a mirrored image. So I crocheted with my left. And then I made the same mistake with knitting. So now I can crochet with both my right and my left, which is actually awesome. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I tried left-handed just in case I injure my right hand because I couldn't not crochet, right? I can do it. It takes me 10 times as long, but it is doable. So I've noticed that, do you lose time? Like you tell yourself one more row, and I know it's a joke. Oh, just one more row. Yeah. But the next time you look up, it's been an hour and a half and you're like, oh my gosh, where'd the day go?
Yeah.
I will find that I'll sit here, and all of a sudden my dog will be like tapping on my foot, like, hey, the sun's down now. Can we do something? So it is a great idea to put a time limit on yourself or to keep a check on yourself because it can hurt. Like my hands, I've been making these things for like 3 days now, and my hands they hurt. I
Yeah.
get it, and you're not even a third of my age yet. Just wait.
Yeah,
Put your opening milks, forget it.
yeah, I seen that people were always talking about the good things about crochet, and then like no one was like, "Hey, you could really like." I was just when I was starting out, I'm like, "Hey, this is so cool," and would do it forever, like a long
Yeah,
time, and
yeah,
no one was talking about the side effects of doing it for a very long time.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny because when you first do it, it's almost like when I was in school once a year, it's cheerleading tryouts, and the next day you're so sore because your body's not used to doing that. And that's kind of what the muscles in your hand, they're so sore because your hands aren't used to doing that. And
Yeah.
it's really funny. Margaret actually sent me some gloves that put a little bit of pressure on it, and they help a lot.
Oh yeah,
So,
the
yeah,
compression gloves, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So you should put those on your Etsy store. Buy them and resell them. I've recently started Amigurumi and I'm in love with the process. I use 4 and larger yarns all the time. What are your thoughts on Amigurumi?
I tried Amis in the beginning, but I was never good at them and they always turned out really weird looking. So ever since then, I have attempted it again. I'm not as bad as I was, but it's still not like something I prefer to do.
I thought you were going to say I'm not as bad as you because mine are awful. I mean, I've got one behind me somewhere that came out okay, and I should have just stopped, like mic drop, walk away. But I did no, I will not show. I have the Island of Misfit Toys, and I will do a video of all of them someday. They're terrible. I mean, I've got a penguin. His eyes are like
Oh my.
they're just terrible. 90% of them end up with my dog, who's laying on a few of them right now. But look, they're all cracking up. But I think it's definitely a technique, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't get the grip of them. I had one, the head. The head was this big. I'm like, what? I guess I didn't follow the instructions because I don't know what the heck I made, but
Yeah. And I when I'm doing patterns, I try to like tweak things. I'm like, I'm gonna change this, and then it'll end up like an hour later, I would have changed like 10 things, and that's
yeah,
probably the reason they don't turn out right.
yeah, it's exactly, you're right. I'm like, oh, well, this would be easier. The
Yeah.
next thing I know, I made, I have a book, Little Monsters, and I did that exact same thing. They're like, use this yarn and this hook. I'm like, well, I'm going to use this yarn and this hook. And I couldn't figure out why the head came out this big. And I was like, oh, terrible. So, yes, I know Frizzy Bee loves the Ammies. I know, but I can't. And I
They're
don't
just
think it's fair to them for me to make anymore.
right. We won't subject them to that.
It's not nice. I don't need to do that. So if you're going to, I feel like making something. What do you sit down? What's your go-to? Like with me, it's ponchos. Everybody knows it's the ponchos.
I like making granny squares like so much. So I'll just sit and like make some in like a whole bunch of different colors and then wind up sewing them together and make blankets. So my go-to is granny squares and I like making like blankets out of them and stuff or like
That's
mats.
awesome. That's really cool. I wear gloves because, yeah. And for those of us that do have the arthritis, Rebecca, it does help a lot. And it's funny because my daughter just asked me the other day, doesn't crocheting hurt your hands? And I'm like, yeah, I just ignore it. I just ignore it completely.
It's worth the pay.
Oh, you need a poncho pattern. Shoot me an email, Frizzy, because my brain, by the time I get out of here, I'll forget. So shoot me an email and I'll send you the pattern. I just made, have you ever made a poncho?
I have not. I try to avoid making crochet wearables because even if I were to make them, we can't wear them very long here because
Oh,
it's
right. It's warm.
Texas and there isn't much of a winter.
Touche. I get it. Yep. Good morning, BB. You are late, but that's all right. I won't mark you down tardy. It's fine. Yeah. All right. So you send me an email and I'll send you the latest one I just did. Do you have or have you ever made fingerless gloves?
I have. I have a couple pairs actually.
I love them.
Yeah.
I am a big fan. I really do. And it's almost like when I wear them when I crochet, it helps my hands. That could just be a mental thing, but I really like it.
Yeah, I found that fingerless gloves, especially when you're like milking a cow. I know probably no one else uses fingerless gloves when milking a cow, but you don't, when you're milking a cow, you need your fingers to help milk, but with gloves you can't. So fingerless gloves help for that.
Right. Now, you mentioned in the live that you actually have the bucket and you do the by hand milking. Is that you do? Because you only have the one cow and the one that's coming, right?
Yeah, we only have, the hope is to have one cow in milk at a time so that we only have to milk one cow at a time.
All right. So are you going to breed the other one and keep the baby, or is it, because a lot of people might not know that they have to have a baby before they can produce the milk. So it's not like chickens where they just pop out eggs. The cows actually have to. So the thing is one or two. You're not going to do many more than that, right? Because that's a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work. The hope is to slowly expand so that we always have what we need milk wise and meat cows too. So the dairy cows are most likely going to breed meat cows for us. We have a little miniature bull. We didn't want to get the full size bull because bulls are quite dangerous.
They're mean and dangerous. Yes, they are.
So we have the little miniature bull. He's a Dexter. They're adorable. You guys should look up a picture of one. They're so cute. So we have that, and we're hoping he breeds with the dairy cows so that we have meat cows.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I feel that everybody should at least experience the process of a farm. Because a lot of people have no idea where this stuff comes from. They don't understand, you know what I mean? They walk through the grocery store and there's the produce and there's the meat and there's the eggs, and they don't get it that there's somebody on larger scales, but there's somebody doing that in the background, you know? And oh, really? Melissa says her bulls are sweeter than her girls. I'll tell you what, we used to have geese, a pair of geese that were the meanest animals on the farm. I grew up on a very small dairy farm. It was my family running it. My dad actually worked at General Electric, and the kids ran the farm while he was at work. And those geese, oh my goodness, we called them Samson and Delilah. And they would chase you. They were terrible. They were meaner than our watchdog.
Wow.
Oh, I know. Glad they're gone.
I hope our geese don't get like that. So far, they only hiss at people, like make a noise at people. They haven't actually attacked or ran after anybody yet.
Well, in their defense, maybe I poked at them a little.
Oh.
I'm just saying maybe I did.
That might do it if someone were to poke them.
I mean, or my brother. Let's blame Al. Let's blame my brother. He did it.
That's a good idea. Let's do that.
So when I grew up, we had horses, cows, chickens, pigs, goats, and one donkey. And of course, anything else like the guinea pigs or whatever we've. But you mentioned the meat cows. Now, my dad used to go to the auction, and if he brought home what was supposed to be a meat animal, he wouldn't let us see it and he wouldn't let us name it because once we named it, he knew it was at the farm forever.
Right.
So has there been an opportunity when it was supposed to be And then you're like, no, this one's staying.
Um, we name our meat cows, but we give them like meat names. So like the one that we have right now is Patty.
Nice.
So the kids are like every time they call Patty, we're like, "Yep, that's what she's gonna be one day."
And that's really cool. See, my dad was not a farmer at heart. So he didn't grow up knowing this animal is, it's a supply and demand thing. So he had a very soft heart where he would be like, okay, we'll just keep them. So we ended up with like 70 cows. And, and you're like, no, we were only supposed to have 7. And they're all laughing because they can just imagine my brother crocheting. I don't know if you've been experienced or been exposed to my brother's antics, but if you go to my playlists and you'll find my brother doing a turkey dance, you got to check that one out.
Okay.
It's good. So yeah, so you name them Chops and Porky. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. So your aspirations for, are there any types of videos you'd like to film? Like you've seen others do it, or you've seen, hey, that's a great idea. Is there anything else coming up on your channel that we can look forward to and look for?
Definitely the crochet like skits. I've actually really enjoyed filming them.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Now they are such a pain to edit because you have to like cut back and forth so many times because it's 2 people interacting. Right. But you have to film it at 2 different times. I've actually enjoyed like being in like changing outfits and being the other person. Like, but I film like one person at each time, so I'll get in one costume and film the whole one person, then jump into the next costume and film the other person. So I
can't wait to go check it out. I cannot wait. I'm excited to see that. I got to remind myself to leave for work, or I'm going to be watching your skits and I'm going to miss work.
Right.
I'll be like, wait, just one more. So there's somebody out there thinking about a channel, whether they're my age or your age. What advice would you give them? Actually, I'm going to take 2. Somebody your age, what advice would you give them? And somebody my age, what advice would you give them?
One second. Let me think about this.
Sure.
I would probably, this one is for both. Definitely don't burn yourself out in the beginning because it's going to take a while. And if you just like spend all your time and put like I tried putting on videos every day, like one video every day at the beginning, and I burnt myself out. I was like, this is too much. Because putting on a video every day is not sustainable. You can't just keep that up.
Yep. The editing will kill you.
Yeah. You definitely do not want to burn yourself out when first starting. Now, when you get bigger, like a bigger channel, you won't have to be putting videos on constantly because you'll have that audience already.
Right.
So definitely don't burn yourself out. And another one I would probably give is to have a backup plan. So like if you're doing YouTube and then like you should probably transfer that into something else, like start another thing just in case YouTube doesn't work out.
Great advice. Great advice. And that, going back to your first bit of advice, that's why I started Coffee with Kim Live, because I was trying to put on a 10-minute video every morning, but it was taking me 45 minutes to edit it. And I'm like, no. So one morning I just said, you know what? Click, we're going live. And I like it a lot better because I was getting burned out. The editing was just, it was draining the creativity out of me, So I'm like, oh, I got a great idea for a video. But in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, once I'm done with this, I got to put this in and da-da-da-da-da. So going live was, oh, do you know Brian Jones? He says,
yeah, that's my dad.
Oh, hi, Dad. Oh, that's so neat. I love her, by the way. I do love her. She's awesome. But so yeah, that is great advice. And that, like you said, it goes for all ages and across all. One, have a backup plan for everything. right? And two, don't burn yourself out because you cannot be all things to all people. And I think another thing I would put on top of that is water off the duck's back. Don't let, you're going to have people saying things, you're going to have the trolls popping up, you're going to have, so just straightforward. Have your carrot in front of your face, focus on it, and go for your goals. Don't let them hurt your feelings because you know what? You're putting yourself out there. The best thing you can do is be happy with yourself, you know, and don't worry about that. But I am so tickled that your dad is here. I love it. Dad, is she late for chores? She's got a few more minutes with me. So what does your dad think about the whole your sister and you with your channels? What do they think?
My parents have been super supportive of our businesses. My mom watches my videos before they go on to make sure everything's good with them and everything like
That's
that.
cool.
And my dad helps out with both my sister's channel and mine. He jumps on lives with my sister and stuff like that. So they're super supportive of our YouTube and businesses.
So Brian, I'm challenging you to get on and crochet with your daughter. Pick up a hook, man. Come on. You could crochet a hat for one of the cows. I'm sure your dad would love that. I'm sorry, I'm treating him like he's my brother because I would pick on my brother like that. So that's awesome, the support. That's real, right? I challenge everybody to pick up a hook and try it at least once. Just try it. You never know, right? Could do I've seen sweaters for chickens. Why not for geese?
Sweaters for chickens? I haven't seen that. I gotta look into
absolutely. I've seen sweaters for chickens. I've seen aprons for chickens. Never gonna happen. No one wants to see that. Well, thank you for supporting them. That's awesome. That's really cool. And bless you for all the children you have. You are a stronger person than I, that's for sure. It's fun though, seeing or hearing about all of the kids you have on the farm. I don't know if you know, but my siblings and I still go back to the farm where we grew up and we camp all summer long. So the bonds that you make as a family, no matter what you're doing, the bonds that you make as a family, it's really cool to carry them in. And the support that he's showing you is really cool. You can feel it. Your sister's here. My sister and brother aren't here today. That's it. There you go. You want a sweater for the geese.
All right, my next crochet project.
Sorry. Sorry to put that in there. All right. Well, I like to keep it under an hour, so I like to make sure. Let me ask you, when you go live, because I did ask you the other day, I saw a couple of trolls in there.
Yeah.
Do you have moderators that what? Because I saw one pop up and I'm like, I didn't see anybody in there, so I was offering to boot them out of there. You said your mom checks your videos before they go. Are they with you kind of watching the lives, or you're on your?
Yes, both my dad and Large Family Homestead, Brooke, my sister, are both moderators on my live streams. And Perfect. Before I go live, I just, let them know, like, I'm going on. And they pop on, and they have always been on awesome. Every single live stream.
Awesome. And that's, I didn't, like I said, I only popped on there, and I saw a couple things popping up, and I'm like, So that's why I offered. So just the mom in me takes over. I apologize. I'm not stepping in, Brian. I'm really not, I promise. But yeah, so it's really cool. I look forward to watching your channel grow. Again, anybody that is on here, pop over to Large Family Homestead as well as Simply Made by Hand. Make sure you guys toss some yarn in their windows. You guys make sure you duck so that you don't get hit in the head with it. But hopefully when you get off of here and you check your subs, you're going to see that you have a few more. Also, you're going to need watch hours. So everybody pop on there and check out. Yay, Billy. Been a troll target. Yeah. So we're all watching you. We're watching you, making sure. So if you need us, throw up a hand and
Yeah.
we will hop in and help. Um, oh, thank you very much, Brian. Thank you. And it was really a pleasure. I'll be honest, I was nervous because I don't know, some of the younger content creators, I'm not sure I could hold a conversation with them as long as I have with you, but I'm like I could hang out with you all day long. I love it. I love your subject matter. I love how articulate you are, and I really look forward to watching your channel grow. I can't wait.
Thank you.
So, everybody, please make sure that you are jumping in, supporting these guys. And Brian, you've done a great job. I love her. I love her so much. So, you guys hop over, show the love. And Bailey, is there anything you say at the end of your videos that you'd like to say to my audience here?
Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Perfect.
Next
Perfect.
time.
Perfect. All right, everybody. And you know what I'm about to say. Remember, always be happy, be kind, and be creative. We will see you tomorrow morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Look at all the people subscribing to you. Yay.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Oh,